Good morning, Vietnam. Most what you know about your body and what you are is totally bullshit. It's bullshit. It's ridiculous. It's false. Yeah. So I give you an example. For example, people expect to live more by finding some kind of good food or some molecules that will make them live longer. That is something very bullshit, because your life expectancy is not about stuffs, you put in your belly, or about these chromosomes that they say they have some zones like in the top that get shorter every time the chromosome duplicates. What a ridiculous story. Yeah, ridiculous. So your life expectancy is in the informational field. I repeat, your life expectancy is in the informational field, which is making you right now. So this informational field is related to the species informational field. Another animal will live less than a human, and another one will live longer than a human. It is in their informational field also. Something interesting about the human being is that they are starting to get individualized compared to the animals. The animals are very into the herd mentality, the group mentality, like the NPCs actually. Yeah, it's just like the NPCs. And the human being is starting to get, I can get free from this, So how do you challenge this informational field? Actually, you challenge it with your consciousness, because the morphogenetic field is in itself a consciousness, a group consciousness, a habit of doing stuffs. And if you don't agree with it and you feel something different, you do something different, you will go into a different direction. And this is very specifically happening into the humans. This is why we see so much difference between one human and another. So if you think that you have to do happy birthday bullshit, every year, and counting this ridiculous years, like 80. What is 80? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's so quick to get there. Why somebody will count this shit? So if you challenge those stuffs into you, automatically you are already challenging the form, and you are getting independent. Maybe having your own species at the end. This is the direction of the divine being. He will be free from any kind of species. Group morphogenetic field, so he will be very independent. Yeah, so this is about the life expectancy. Also, when it comes to the disease, the disease is mostly a stress, physical or psychological, but I would say mostly psychological, because the physical stress has to translate into a psychological stress for it to be very dangerous to the humans. I give you an example. You take two persons. One of them is electrosensitive. This electrosensitive person, you put it working on a desk with a screen. This screen is very bad, very polluting electromagnetically. This person will say, shit, I cannot stand this object. I cannot stay here. He will go. He save his life, because he feels he will not let his physicality suffer. Another person which is not electrosensitive will stay in this job, work, but this person will not feel the object like the other feel it direct physically. This person will have depression, will fight with his or her husband or wife, will be very stressed, depressed, starting to have a hormonal problem and all this stuffs. But this person will never link the two, the stress of this polluting object in front of her, Wi-Fi or screen or something, with the situation. This person will say, I cannot stand my job, I am stressed, my boss is not okay with me, and all this because the person cannot see where is exactly the problem. So one will save herself, and one will go to the doctor asking for help. So the doctor will give pills, anti-depressant stuffs, dangerous drugs, all of it adding. And this person will go to a coach to make her more motivated into her job. And this person will go slowly to less and less health, and slowly toward the death. So at the beginning it was a physical stress, but the most important is the psychological stress. Another example is about cancer. If an animal swallow something too fast, like let's say a fox, he was in hurry and he eats something, a leg of some animals, but he swallow it fast to run away, and this stuff is stuck into his stomach. His stomach will do a cancer. So he will work in a turbo mode. Cancer will work in a turbo mode to digest this stuff. He has this leg of a rabbit or something that he ate too fast and too big, and he didn't chew it and stuff. So his stomach will do a cancer to digest it, So he couldn't swallow something. Physically, he did a cancer. But also, if you cannot swallow something they did for you, you can make a cancer, and you don't express, for example. You take on you and you never speak your stuff, you will have stomach problem, maybe a stomach cancer. Let's take an example. There is in Japan are known to have a high level of cancer, stomach cancer specifically. So when you go to this stupid science, they will say, they might be eating this or that. They may be eating too much sushi, eating too hot. I have even heard that they have cancer because they eat too hot. I said, how? The Japanese cannot know to wait a little bit and do some till it got cool a little bit and eat it. And this is giving like more cancer in Japan. This is official stories, But in Japan, you have to understand, if you watch the documentaries and stuff, how much they are obedient people, especially when they work in companies. They can be back at home at 6, and then the boss called them at 10 p.m. telling them to come back because there is more work to do, and they will just put their suit back and come back without saying nothing. So they don't express, and they take everything on them. It's a cultural stuff, and this is generating more of this form of cancer. They might have less of others, like for example, breast cancer in the woman might be related to mothers which are worried about the security of their children. For example, in countries with a lot of violence or gun violence, drug outside, those women will have a tendency to have this kind of cancer. I think it's the breast cancer, and there is other forms of cancer which appear after somebody loses someone and have pain, like losing a child or something. It can be those ovaries cancer, or even in the man testicle cancer. And this science has been totally documented, studied by a doctor, which he ended up in prison, and he's dead some years ago, just after getting out of prison. Is the Dr. Amer, a German bright person, He documented all this relationship between the stress and the forms of disease. Over 6,000 person, and all his work is available, so you can link mostly any disease with some kind of stress. So physical stress is secondary. It's how the human being deal with it. And this goes so deep that when somebody has a cancer and he goes to to the normal medicine, to these criminal doctors, and they put chemotherapy in him. It's poisonous. The hair fall, the teeth fall. This destroys all the immune system. It's mad. It's just form of madness, sadistic, satanic, disgusting shit. But still, this person can slow down her cancer. Why? Because the stress that was making the cancer. For example, this woman was her husband was cheating on her, so she had some problems in the lung, or who knows where. What kind of organ will manifest this kind of stress. And they give her chemotherapy and radiotherapy, and she is focused on her disease, and she wants to get better. And this horrible chemotherapy actually will make the body and her focus on surviving, and the body will less manifest the stress of being cheated by the husband. This is how ridiculous it is. It is that ridiculous. So they will just turn the normal life of this woman, which she was expressing this stress, and they will put a higher, more lethal, more immediately dangerous stress. So or her being will focus on surviving. So the other stress is put in the back a little bit, and when she gets better, after this focusing on the cancer, she might have still not solved this emotional relationship with this event that her husband is cheating on her, and the cancer will reappear. So everything has to be solved inside of us as a feeling, as a structure. It is that stupid, what I told you now in chemotherapy. I am sure it is that stupid. Okay, so when somebody is sick, you have to change his position of consciousness, make him talk about the problem, to undo it on as a structure, and shake his position. He should maybe change where he is living, changing the food. The food as something we eat is very impacting our vibration. It is not the quality of the food and everything. Somebody who changes his habit of eating changes his emotionality, because there is a lot of emotion and information in the food. So it helps also move this structure of emotionality. So this is how the diseases should be treated. At first, it is by what's the problem? What you have some pain inside. Let's talk about it. Say about it. What if you come and live here in this house? No problem. It is in the nature. Small houses for people to get rest, and they just bring to them food, and they can just forget about the stress of life, and give them good food, and express the stuff. This is how you shake the energetic structure. It's not by fucking chemotherapy, motherfuckers. Stupidity. Okay, this is also stuff. And for example, I'm running out of time, so I do it fast. The digestive system, for example, I thought that it was like dismantling the food and having bits of it and everything. But also we are electrical being, and mostly this food, it's also taking electric energy through these neurons, these nerves, it's taking the light, the electricity, energy and light and electricity. We take it and we as an energy. So it is alchemical process. What's happening in the digestive system is an incredible alchemical process. There is acid like a battery, and there is all this neuron taking on this electricity, this information, this light all around the body. So it keeps its temperature to 37 Celsius, and all the process, all the energy is going around in the brain and everything. They did a study, I think, and they found that the energy we take just by the heart, the brain, the digestive, the heat, 37 is huge. It's far more than any food you can eat. So we are really a very energetic being. It is far more than those calories they tell you, what they are putting outside as heat, as electricity in the brain, as the heart, as a pump, and all the other stuffs. So we are really another level. The 15 minutes is close. I will talk about those shits another time.